too much water. Okay. This is my first time in a real comedy open mic. I got divorced 4 years ago and started looking into the online dating scene, since I talked about that at some point this evening. I learned to translate online dating sites, but I looked at the headlines, and if it's any of your headlines, I'm sorry, because these are for real. I did not make them up. I went on Yahoo Personals. Mostly guys, have a couple of girls once. So a guy says, this is pretty easy, let's have some fun. My translation, I want to get laid, right? Pretty simple. Another guy says, free-spirited mountain man. Translation, I live in my truck, I don't have a job, but I would love for you to buy me dinner. And I want to get laid. These are for real. This guy really writes, 10 fingers, 10 toes, and a brain. Translation, I don't have much of a penis. He put it out there. And some of the girls, here's what one girl wrote. She wrote, well, let's take a ride on my wild side. Translation, you got $100, you can get laid. And another woman writes, if you want Barbie, go to Toys R Us. Translation, I am fat and bitter and I really hate skinny chicks. So then I went back to the men, and this guy says, and need a tour guide. Translation, I am still a virgin and I need an experienced woman. And finally, this one guy says, this is for real, lonely musician in need of another human. We got engaged last week. Anybody got a condom for this thing? I'm thinking Magnum XL. I mean, this thing is like very comfortable to hold, though. Don't you be thinking I'm gonna blow it now either. So I got a text the other day from a guy. He says, I can't hang tonight because something came up. So I wrote back, said, I can help you with that. A couple of weeks ago, I gave one of my best performances. I even got a standing O, and then he came. So I really, when I'm in a hurry, I really like to shop at Walmart, because I know when they open the extra aisle, I can beat 99% of the people to it. Okay, cell phones. My cell phone is a possessed amphibian. It on its own will leave my hand randomly and dive into the nearest water source. I don't know if you've had that happen. I've had it happen more than once. Into the dog bowl, into the toilet bowl. And it's possessed, so it makes phone calls on its own from my purse, from my pocket, when I'm on other calls. But the worst part is when I'm out at bars late at night drinking, it starts doing random texts without me knowing it to my ex-boyfriends. And I don't know about it until the next morning. And I read about it the next morning. I look at my phone, and earlier in the night it appears the phone likes to say things like, you're a jerk, you're a loser, stay away from me. Towards the end of the night it says, I love you, I miss you, can I come over? But I don't remember it, so if I don't remember it, it didn't happen. Men and Porsches. Ladies, let's be glad there's just not a lot of Porsches on the road, because we know what that means, right? They're compensating. If they got a Porsche, they usually have a small tool, right? But I'm on the road a lot. And there's a lot of really big pickup trucks out there. Big heavy trucks. Big V8 motors. And I drive a little four-cylinder car, and I'm behind these guys, and they're usually going slower than the speed limit. So I figure there's a lot of guys out there with a really nice tool, and they just don't know how to use it. Well, here's another marijuana one. I'm sure 80% of you people have your medical marijuana card, I'm sure. Okay? Or you're sharing it with your friend. But I do foresee a day. I foresee a day when marijuana is legal, and here's what the typical work day will be like when that occurs. Get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, have your pot brownie, go out, get in your car, get it going, turn on your tunes, and you restart your car because you forget it's already running. Then you're at the stoplight, and you're hanging out, and you suddenly are really pushing on the brake and jolted because you think you're rolling backwards, but the cars next to you are just going forwards. You get to the office, you hit the vending machine for the munchies, you're checking out South Park on the computer. Basically, the office of the future will run just like the post office of today. Very slowly with glassy-eyed employees. So for real, my birthday was just Monday, and I'll give you a drink after this. I turned 46 years old, believe it or not, and and I typically like to hang out with dudes in their 20s. And people make assumptions about women in their 40s, hanging out with guys in their 20s, and what do they typically call me? Who knows?
Cougar.
Cougar, right. Well, I am not a cougar. I want to set the story straight. I am an environmentalist. And as an environmentalist, Craigslist, I understand that when it comes to men in the 20s, no batteries required. I don't need to recycle them, put them right back out into the community. They prefer it, actually. And I live in a small town, I live in Essex Cork, and in our town, we don't lose our boyfriend, we lose our turn. Which is why I'm down here, I'm tired of all the reruns. So I'm really, now that I'm getting older, I'm thinking I really should rethink my dating scenario, and I'm going to leave the 20s and move to the 50s. So currently, I'm dating two 25-year-olds. Thank you, that's it. Really good, nice day.